There's no question in my mind that Disney needs to sell ABC. It's just obvious to me at this point. And I'm sure some of you might be thinking, well, why the heck is that? Well, I made a video talking about what the heck happened to ABC a little while ago. And I went over the fact that ABC is a shell of its former self. ABC used to be, even before Disney bought it, it used to be one of the leading networks in America. It had such a variety of programming that you could find on it. It was unbelievable. You had Saturday morning blocks of cartoons, you had afternoon blocks of cartoons, you had game shows, you had sitcoms, you had dramas. Now what is it? It is a bunch of news and talk shows, soap operas during the day, which has been the only thing that's been a staple of that network. I don't even know if there's any game shows. I don't believe there are. At least I haven't seen any. All sorts of reality shows and mostly dramas and news programs. The occasional ABC or ESPN on ABC. I don't think they do Wonderful World of Disney anymore. I don't think they haven't front loaded it with any content, and it's bizarre to me because most people can get ABC for free. If you get a digital antenna, you can pick up your ABC affiliate for free in most places in the country. So you can get the biggest market of people possible because they don't have to worry about a cable bill. And you can front load the network with stuff and then release it next day or even same day on Disney Plus. It makes the most sense to me, but Disney will not do something like that for whatever reason because they're so focused on Disney Plus only. So all of their networks are suffering, including Disney Channel, Disney XD, Freeform. You know, you can just go down the list. But they're not dedicated to revitalizing this network, and it's a dead network. Nobody is talking about ABC, not a single person. It doesn't come up in conversation. Some of the programs do when they do something like the Oscars or any of these live events, but there are no shows being talked about on ABC. There's no sitcoms being talked about on ABC. There's no game shows being talked about on ABC. It's just not happening. So the network is sitting there and floundering. And the same was happening with CW and Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers sold it off. And the new owners, what they've done is they've looked at the demographics, they've looked at the ratings, and they're starting to retool the network. Disney needs to do that. They need to sell to an independent media conglomerate or independent media company that's willing to buy up ABC and its affiliates and restructure the whole thing because they're not doing a dang thing with it of any value. People are not talking about programming on ABC. I haven't heard anybody say anything about what's going on with ABC. Disney's in the absolute hole. This is one of the things they can do to alleviate costs. They can just produce stuff that premieres. They can go back to having a partnership pre-ownership of ABC. They can go back to producing content for it. They could create a whole Saturday morning cartoon block to get the kid audience. And then that stuff can also go to Disney Plus. But they can get the audience of people who can't afford streaming, they can't afford cable, through ABC. And I don't understand why they don't even try. Is there something that I'm missing here as to why they don't try to do that? Because it worked before. It might have stopped working because some interest shifted. You've got to advertise this stuff too. But it's just not working. There's no reason to turn on the network anymore. And it's really, really sad. It makes me sad for sure because this was a network that had a whole bunch of programming on it. The fact that you can get kids onto this low power network when they do have the Disney Channel, when they made ABC Family, which is now Freeform. I don't know why they changed it to that. You know, I guess ABC Family was going to be a combination of sitcoms and drama, and it was going to be like a second Disney Channel in a way, in some ways, but more. I think some of their classical programs ended up being on there, like they started rerunning their old sitcoms, but I don't know what it is now. I think there's some original programming on there now, and they were doing. I think they were doing original movies on that. It was just Disney Channel too, but they just abandoned ABC. They abandoned it to news and live stuff and dramas. News, talk shows. I mean, there's content on there, but there's not content that people are actually talking about under 50 or under 40. They're just abandoning it. So why not sell it to somebody who actually has a plan like I suggested? a plan going forward of actually rejuvenating the network. They're not doing anything. Not that they're capable of making the kinds of content that they need to make at Disney. They absolutely aren't. They're too concerned about diversity, equity, inclusion to make stuff for families anymore. But if they were still a family-focused company, one of the best things that they could do is take advantage of the network of ABC that they own and are just sitting on. It's like an egg that they're just sitting on and they're waiting for it to hatch, but it's not hatching because there's nothing in the egg. It's empty. It's hollow. They're just like, we have the egg, we own the egg. Why don't they sell it? I've suggested similar for ESPN. I mean, you've got a dedicated sports center and all these other news show audiences, and then you've got some of their live sports broadcasts. They still make money off of ESPN, which is why they haven't let it go. They've actually done a diversity hire for ESPN recently, which is just further proof that they don't know what they're doing. But, I mean, it's obvious as day to me that they're not taking full advantage like they could. Even a really popular game show could just really revitalize things. The other networks surrounding CBS, NBC, CW, and even Fox, which they don't own the TV side of Fox as far as I know. I think that's a misconception. They don't really own the Fox TV network. I think they have a partial ownership of it, but the Murdochs still own, I think, that part of the TV network. But even Fox has more of a broad programming. They have Family Feud back to back, and then they have a couple of other things during the day, and then they have some programming at night. They still have The Simpsons and several of their animation. They had that whole animation domination block. They still had block television, but not Disney, not ABC. ABC used to have TGIF. I've talked about it a billion times. They've tried bringing it back, but they brought it back in the stupidest way possible. It was a good idea, but they were like, oh, we're going to put a Marvel show on here. We're going to... No. Sitcoms and game shows if you're going to do TGIF. Or just sitcoms the way it used to be. Family-oriented content, for crying out loud. It exists. It's a big audience. It includes kids and adults. Get people around the TV again, for goodness sakes. Get the ratings up. Get the ad revenue up. But they're not going to do it. No. Oh, everything's got to go to Disney+. Let's ignore the market that can't afford or doesn't have the internet for Disney+. Let's just completely ignore them. There's, enough people have it for it to be profitable, even though it's not. It's losing billions of dollars. Just stupid, man. I mean, does this really sound like that bad of an idea? Either sell or rejuvenate. People who know what ABC used to be, they know that they can generate revenue by putting the right programming on. But they won't do it. Because they're not thinking of it. I'm baffled. I do those things with my phone where I record and see what's on the schedule for TV. It's often a little bit blurry, but I talk about what's on the guide. I'm like, what is there? What is there? Every time I get to ABC, what is going on? News programs. Bachelor sort of reality type shows, dramas like The Good Doctor. That's it. Not a single sitcom, not a single animated series like adult or in between like a Simpsons. There's nothing like a Simpsons. I'm surprised Disney never really chased that. People are like, well, Disney technically owns The Simpsons now. Not really. I'm pretty sure that's still the Murdochs. The way the split happened is mostly movie stuff, 20th Century Fox stuff, and Hulu. A majority stake in Hulu. But it's not... I don't think it's Fox Television. Like, they don't own Fox News. Murdoch still own that. But they own 20th Century Fox. And Fox as a company still produces, I think, a majority of that. Or Disney. I don't know how it all works. It's a very weird split. The way that Iger did it. The irony of this all? Bob Iger used to be a CEO of ABC. And I guarantee you when he was CEO, there was still content on the network. It's amazing that he ignores something that he spent a good portion of his life running. But now he's the big boss. And he's just... I don't know what's up with the guy. I don't know if he's got like a monkey on his shoulder telling him to do all of this stuff with Disney that's causing it to fail. Or if he's just completely lost his mind. I don't know what the situation is. I really don't. But I do know that Disney has so many assets, and they either can't keep them all. They've got so many television assets. They either can't keep it all if they're doing this Disney Plus thing, and then they're going to risk losing the audience that hasn't shifted over to Disney Plus because they like network television, or they're going to have to revitalize it. They're going to have to revitalize it and start simulcasting stuff between Disney Plus and the networks and double dipping with audiences, which is the smartest thing to do. If you have content that people want, they will go to see it. They will pay an expensive cable bill. They will get an over-the-air antenna to get ABC. They will go where the content is. ABC is one of the best outlets to do that because, again, you can get it over the air. It's not like it used to be. Digital antennas are great. I've used them before. They're awesome. It's like having a small digital cable. It's great. But Disney is taking zero advantage of that. And the programming they have on ABC is stale and not really talked about by general audiences. They've effectively killed it. Or they use it as a vehicle for one night a year, like Oscars, one night a year. Or The View. Who watches The View that's under 40? I don't even know people under... My mom is 73. She doesn't watch The View. She hates it. Who's watching that program? Good Morning America? I mean, it's fine, I guess, but it's not exactly drawing in all ages. Not like their Wonderful World of Disney was, not like their One Saturday Morning was, not like their TGIF was, the thing that pretty much propelled the network into the stratosphere. My gosh. What a mishandled network. And I said a lot of that in the old ABC video, but selling is the best option that Disney has. If they're not going to do anything, sell to somebody who will. Don't just sell to anybody. Sell to somebody who's like, we have a plan. We're going to do what CW did. We're going to look at the demographics. If we want to widen the demographics, then we'll do that. If we as a network, as ABC, were successful with family content, we're going to start creating family programs. We're going to work with Disney to create, or with another company, to create family programming again. Maybe bring back Disney movies on Sunday with Wonderful World of Disney. Old Disney movies. Good ones. Not this modern crap. Because nobody wants that. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to show all of the remakes of the Disney stuff. They're just incapable of doing anything good as a company. And I've got a smile on my face because it's hilarious to me. I could come up with a dozen different things that they could do that I could guarantee them. I could look Bob Iger straight in his nose and say this would work. But they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't spend the money on it. They wouldn't take a risk based on some bum. Oh well. That is what it is. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Do you think that they should sell ABC? Or do you think that they should do what I'm suggesting and bring the network back to what it used to be and take advantage of a free audience? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Super Koopa. I will see you guys next time. God bless. Have a good one. Peace.